Coach, coming off a crazy, exciting win, and you're able to keep momentum building, what does it mean going into a Saturday home game?
Means we need to follow up that crazy, exciting, perfect for the fans, horrible for the coaches win, and keep that momentum going, or else it becomes kind of a wasted deal. So we've got 2 more home games before some things happen, and the focus really will be trying to reestablish some home form.
You know, the team has been playing better for a couple months now in terms of being able to get results. Still haven't won 2 in a row. Is that something that you even look at as, is that an anomaly, or is that something that
I haven't mentioned it to them. We've discussed it internally as coaches, how to get the team to be more consistent, Jeremiah. We've talked about it. So we'll do what we can and, roll out a consistent lineup maybe and, see if we can't generate some more results.
How did you think of how Pedro and Alex came through training this week?
Good. They'll both feature in the game.
Is not mentioning it to the team helpful in trying to get that as far as the two are getting back to
We've
that?
mentioned it in a different way, Jada. We've mentioned it in, last week it was an opportunity to get 7 points in a week, which, pushed us up the standings a little bit. We're still below the playoff line, but 7 points in a week is a good number. Now we talk about is continuing momentum at home, not necessarily the, let's win 2 in a row, but it's just keep the momentum at home going. We've got a couple more home games. Our schedule is pretty good in that regard. So it's basically reestablishing what we do here.
And just to be totally clear, Alex is fully cleared concussion protocol at this point?
Yes, he is fully cleared, ready to play.
Is he of the nature? I mean, you've had your successes when Christian plays back line. I know I asked this a lot, but in the sense of him, Alex, has he established himself in the sense of where he would just automatically come back?
I'm smiling, Jada, because it was a great question. Because part of the conversation, I'm not going to give you my lineup, but a lot of the conversation this week was about keeping Christian there as right back versus Alex coming back into his normal role, and what messages it's sending to the team, and was Alex 100% ready to go back in after a concussion? Would it be better to bring him on as a sub? We had a lot of conversations about that.
Christian, when we talked to him earlier this week, he was talking about how he and Alex really fundamentally play the position differently. Like they just, he's not as refined, but he, whatever. He went into the whole thing about how he's a different player, right? From your perspective, how does it change the way you play when it's Christian versus Alex at right back?
I might disagree with him a little bit. I think they are similar in some aspects, but Christian, has been a midfielder. I think Christian consistently, when we do our rotations, he'll come in and play one of the pivots. Alex has done that a couple of games, but we really haven't seen the most of him in those particular circumstances. Both of them can get up and down the line. Alex might be a better crosser. Christian maybe gets to the prime assist zone a little bit more. So there are inherent differences between the two of them. But, both of them play well, and, they enjoy, the siblings on the field. It's a good story, and they work for each other. They cover for each other. So, I think it's a little closer maybe. I didn't see the article, but maybe it's a little closer. Oh, you haven't written it? No, you haven't written it yet. Okay. All right.
Is it true, though, that you do find more success? I mean, you watch the tape a lot closer. I mean, have you found more success with Christian in the defense?
Well, a very short sample size of this week has said we've done pretty good with Christian at right back. The larger sample size says we've been pretty successful with Alex back there as well.
And then on the other side, you've talked about how you don't necessarily want 2 fullbacks that are sort of like on a pulley system going up and back, and that you feel good about having the left back essentially being like sliding back into more of a center back role. When you have a player like Reed, who a lot of his game is in the attack portion, how does that change the way you play? Or do you really expect, when there is a Reed type of player there, do you expect them to sort of serve the Nuhu role, for lack of a better term?
No, we don't pigeonhole Reed to play like Nuhu. We allow him to express himself. He's a different profile. Initially, in the build-out, we'll ask him to do the same things, but then as the game progresses, when we push teams back a little bit, we let Reed go up a little higher. JP or one of the two holding guys needs to cover that. For the future when De La Vega comes and some of those questions need to be answered, we'll talk about things. We'll talk about new formations. How do we get everybody in their best spots? It'll be an ongoing conversation because, again, De La Vega was our big signing, and we're excited that he's going to be a participant, but we still have to find the right place for him in the group.
João Paulo, about a month ago, made some comments about how he didn't feel like he was playing up to his standard.
He's got a high standard.
Ever since then, it seems like he has been sort of raising that standard to the point where, at least from my perspective, it looks like he is, close, if not fully back to where he was pre-injury. What's been your perspective on that, and how do you assess a player who holds themselves to such a high standard?
I love it. Number one, I love that he holds himself to a high standard. He's done that since he's been here. It just took him a little bit of time for game sharpness, game fitness. He's one of those guys that can train, but it's really the game and that type of stress on his body that really gives him that last little push to be 90 minutes fit. The injury took some out of him. He's a little bit older, so it might have taken him a little bit longer, but I agree with you, he's coming back to top form.
De La Vega's on minutes restriction, right?
Yes.
Can you say how
I hate saying it because it's going to be by the GPS, okay? But 15, 20, maybe a little more, depending on how fast the game is. We'll see. It'll be due to what we think, how the game is unfolding, what's the tempo of the game, how many meters he can cover. It'll be more scientific than just throwing a number out there.
How do you think the mood of training has been this week, the players you have out here?
Good. They were good. It's nice to be back here in Lumen the day before the game. It's a good vibe out here.
What can you say about the Raul Ruidiaz and Nuhu situation?
Just that it's over.
Okay.
They're joining us on Sunday. They've been training well. It's over.
How do you think the team has responded to that? I feel like coming off of that win, that's something that can sort of mess with the mojo, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, they want to continue the good form. I mean, they enjoy when they win games. It's like the fans, just like me.